The first 2 seasons of Paradise have now introduced the public to fundamental principles already alive in the human population. The returning season of the show will guide people towards the understanding of the universe from the Paradise perspective, the role and the implications for the human population at the heart of Paradise and beyond. The hostess of the show, Sonda Davis, the mother, is not just talking about imagining paradise. She is communicating the realities of paradise as she lived the very journey all the way from paradise and beyond. All of these, Sonda Davis was continuously working with deities and divinities from heaven and earth to ensure the transition from the old system based on duality and destruction to the new system, based on reconciliation, planetary safety, and divine evolution. The first 2 seasons of Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother aired in 2016-2017 on Vision TV. At that time, the show was the beginning of the planetary dialogue about paradise on Earth. Since then, despite the many problems that we had on Earth, people evolved towards fulfilling the fundamental principles of paradise on Earth, and the structures of paradise stabilized to bring the entire population towards a vision of peace, prosperity, help for one another, love and responsibility for the planet, nature, family, spiritual and divine evolution. In 2022, during the planetary alignment, in consensus with the cosmic and universal law, all planetary beings, all planets of the solar system declared and recognized Earth as paradise, the mother planet.
Welcome to Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. My name is Sonda Davis and I'm your host for today's show and for many shows to come. Today's show is dedicated to knowing how. Last show, we're talking about the plan. I was telling you about the plan of God for Paradise on Earth, for people's future. The plan of God for the planet, for everything that's involved in the process that leads to the future, and the plan for the collective and the individual people. And now, as you hear that this is the plan, and as you hear that you have your responsibility in this process, you are expected to do specific things like develop your divine qualities. That would lead to the activation of your divine capacities. Well, how? That's one area of great importance. How do you develop your divine qualities? Then you have to correct your mistakes, whatever mistakes you have. What does that mean? What is the importance of correcting mistakes other than doing things right? But how do you go about that? When do you know if something requires more of your effort and more of your attention? I had a call from a viewer who wanted help and wanted me to help her understand some things. And then she said, what shall I do? Like, how do I do it? How do I take it from here? And obviously, that's a question that everybody has. Naturally, because everybody has it inside, there are tendencies towards the right things for the times. Now that it is time for the paradise, here now, what's inside that's ready to meet that dimension of paradise on earth tends to blossom, but you'll have to identify it, you have to understand it, and you have to be responsive, you have to be God responsive, you have to be responsive to your inner tendencies that may lead you towards behaviors, feelings, and thoughts that you may not be very used to. You may find yourself all of a sudden that you feel like being more giving. And maybe you don't have more than you had before. Maybe you used to be very restrained, both with expenses or how much you give of yourself. And now you may find yourself more giving. That's a divine quality that is surfacing. You don't want to repress that by saying, oh, no, 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 I cannot afford that. You have to go and proceed with wisdom. You don't have to lose your house, you lose your home, or lose your well-being for giving and for achieving something. But you don't want to walk into the same patterns that you've been walking in. You have to be sensitive to change, evaluate the impact of the change, and if you feel a good tendency, by all means, encourage it. Pay attention. If you find yourself being kinder to somebody that you used to be harsher, or you maybe had a reserve regarding somebody, or maybe you had a prejudgment about somebody, and you find yourself that you don't want to judge, you want to understand them. And then you remember what happened 2 years ago and say, no, 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 that person did that, no, I cannot trust that person. Or you may go saying, well, things change, people change, we all learn. Let's see if they change. You don't want to be misled by somebody who is actually not willing to make a positive change. But you don't want to be unjust and limiting and rejecting with somebody who may want to change, who may have made steps towards a positive change that you could appreciate. You don't have to fall in love. You don't have to go too far. You have to use wisdom. But at the same time, you want to encourage those that are heading towards positive changes. So the first thing that you have to pay attention to is good changes in you, good changes in others. Encourage good changes in others and do it with wisdom. Encourage good changes in you and do it with wisdom. Now, what does that mean? How do you do it with wisdom? Somebody was saying a while ago, like, I have no wisdom, I'm not wise at all. I do things in ways that have nothing to do with wisdom. And I said, well, you are wise enough to understand that. You're wise enough to evaluate that you've done things without wisdom, but you're wise enough to start to examine that. You know the measure of wisdom if you know the measure of what's not very wise to do. So now you look at what does it mean, wisdom. It means think before you act. Sometimes, like they say, think twice and speak less than once. Maybe you keep it to yourself before you are ready to speak. I would say think 3 times and speak once. At the same time, feel free to express yourself. But I'm saying when it is something important that involves your future and the future of others, don't just throw things that can destroy somebody. Don't just throw things that can destroy your relationship with somebody who might be a worthy friend or worthy family member. One thing about wisdom is that the wise men are thoughtful. Then make sure that you make room for understanding, for wisdom comes with understanding. If you think and then you think in a judgmental way, that's not wisdom. If you think and you think in an understanding way, you are on the way to wisdom. Another characteristic of wisdom is that wisdom looks down the road. Meaning, wisdom looks at the consequences. The wise man is thinking a few moves ahead. Potential of a reality is being considered. Order of reality is being considered. But the wise man and woman would look at the effects and then the possible consequences. When you are not sure about something being a good thing to do another thing that wise people do: consult. We'll have a whole show about wisdom, or more shows about wisdom, but right now just think that you need the wisdom to be perceptive, to think, to understand, to look down the road, to know when you don't understand. If you don't understand, say, I cannot act in something that is very, very important, very definitive. I cannot act before I understand. I cannot take action before I understand. At the same time, don't put it on the shelf, oh, I'll understand it sometime. Wisdom is waking up the understanding. Wisdom knows that truth is vital. Wisdom knows how unwise it is to rely on something that is not accurate, on something that is not true. And I'll give you just one more element about wisdom now. Wisdom leads to life. If you think of something and you look down the road and think of the effect, and the outcome is not life or improvement of life, it's not wisdom. If you want to think how to drive faster and how to risk your life on the road just to get in time to be punctual somewhere, for instance, because you want to be punctual, then you have to know that that is not wisdom. It's wise to take the cell phone and to say, I'll be late a few minutes. And then if you make it in time, fine, but at least you don't have to drive like a bullet, and you can take your time, because wisdom is also able to take the proper time for every step of the way. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments.
Float me on the China Sea, float me on the China Sea.
As we're talking about the plan in the last show, we're talking about the fact that people will be helped to make it in the paradise dimensions on Earth. That the plan is to have the entire population of the Earth in the paradise dimensions. But to enter paradise, there are specific steps. So the how-to here involves knowing what are the portals that you have in you, that you're born with, that shows you the path, that show you the path to paradise. Development of divine qualities is obligatory. Staying away from negatives is obligatory. Staying away from wrongs, correcting your mistakes, having goodwill with all. Some days will be easier than others, some days will be better than other days. But the main tendency has to be a choice of what is good, a choice of what is helpful, a choice of what is what has future. Only what is good has future. So you want to have future, you want to be do good. You are good fundamentally, you'll just have to bring that goodness to the surface. To advance towards the paradise directions, you have to learn some specifics. Like anywhere you go, you want to know how do you get in that space that has its own role. And what is the price? What is the entrance for that place? Well, the entrance to paradise is a win-win because it is priceless. What you get by entering the paradise dimensions is priceless. It's infinite evolution of your being. It is increase of quality of life on earth, increase of longevity, a regeneration, a mission that is of cosmic importance. Beautiful things that will be described in more details. The more we advance, the more we'll understand what it is to live in paradise on earth. It is worth it. It has been worked towards and has been dreamed about, and now the dream comes true. It's right here now. That is extraordinary, and when that happens, you don't want to miss that opportunity. It doesn't matter how young or how old you are. I wouldn't even want to use the word old, what your age is. You are alive, you are on earth, here's your chance, because you can regenerate, you can rejuvenate, and not like in becoming less mature. The more mature you are, the more you can regenerate, the better you can look, and you can regain everything from aspect to posture and everything else, and functions. As long as you are here, everything is available. And we'll talk another time about what if you don't have now the strength to hang in here and be here for much longer, or for as long as you would wish. There are ways to improve the possibility to be on earth as long as you wish. And the fundamental principle is do no harm. But you also have to learn the positives. Staying away from the negatives is very important, but you have to learn the positives. There'll be plenty of knowing, and there'll be plenty of necessary and available knowledge. This show is one way. The books that will be produced as a result of what's being presented on the show is another way. There'll be classes. There'll be a Church of Paradise. I will announce officially that I am starting a Church of Paradise, where there'll be specific teachings for people of all religions. One can go to their regular church, and once in a blue moon they can stop by the Church for Paradise and learn those unique things that would make even better use of what they've learned in their church or in their temple or in their synagogue. The process of expansion of paradise on earth is advancing in leaps and bounds. It's from one day to another, a hardship, an opposition to paradise that may be very strong today, may be defeated overnight, and the opening is immense. Right now, we don't have barriers ahead of us for the evolution of paradise. We just have to wait and see the blades of grass. We're walking on muddy roads, but that will improve. We have preconceived notions that we have to understand. We don't want to throw the baby with dirty water, but we need to know how to clean our ways of thinking and our ways of relating to one another. That will be happening. It is in full process. Anywhere where you feel that you do learn the real things about paradise, please do, because this is a planetary process. Keep in touch with the Paradise Center, keep in touch with the teachings from the one who is in the leadership of the process, and that would be the Mother. It is the work of the Mother to have brought paradise and to bring people to paradise. I have a phrase somewhere on my Twitter account saying, I brought paradise, now I will bring people to paradise. Work with me. That's another answer to your question. How? Work with me, learn from me, and that would put in perspective things that would help you to understand if other works and other kinds of guidance will take you where you need to go. There'll be many teachers that will be trained at the Paradise Center so that they will be able to guide you rightfully. You will not be misled. There'll be ways in which you will know the truth. The light of truth is powerful. All you have to do is to meditate, to be willing to receive the truth, and to ask, verify. There are ways to verify if something is true. And those kind of techniques of knowing what is true, we will discuss about those. And I would love actually to have audience in the studio and to have questions from them and to discuss with the people to see, okay, how do you know that that is true? How do you know that that's opinion? How do you know that that's verifiable truth? How do you verify that? We'll do that. At this point, just rely on the fact that the true God that brings paradise, the true godliness expressed in many beings that are bringing the right things, will not let you get lost. The important thing is to focus your attention and your intention. If your intention is to make it to paradise on earth, you will make it to paradise on earth, because you receive the assistance that is consistent with your intention. Think, I want to make it to paradise. Pray, guide me, show me, give me the strength to make it to paradise on earth. I have to repeat on earth so there's no misunderstanding. Paradise is for people who are alive on earth. Heaven is for the departed. Paradise is for the people who are alive on earth. So you'll just ask for increase of your quality of life, increase of understanding, increase of wisdom, and you'll just have to learn the steps. Other than the show and the books and what you learn from other teachers, feel free to consult my website that it is posted, where I have the shows, all the shows that I had. I have them on my website as well as on YouTube. So you'll find answers to your questions, and keep asking. Ask us questions, we'll be answering. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. I'd like to have people here who would ask questions on the topic that has to do with the truth. How do we know the truth? How do we know when it is true? So that will make an interesting show that will help you to have some landmarks. Of course, it's all experiential, it's all your own life and your own experience, but hearing the experience of others may be very helpful. I'll share now with you something that made me so happy today, I cannot even describe it. And I did shed the necessary tears, because I can cry for happiness as heavily as I can cry for something that shouldn't happen. But today was a happy cry. I'll hold it back right now. I think I did my crying about that. I was heading towards the studio for the filming, and I stopped at a drive-through to order my favorite mocha latte with mint flavor. And I heard through the speakers somebody mentioning the word paradise. Now that can have any meaning. It can be people use the term paradise. Obviously, it tells them something beautiful, something good, something very desirable. And there are businesses that are called paradise gardening or paradise anything. I didn't draw any conclusion, but it just got my attention. So the person who was taking the orders mentioned paradise. I made it to the window to pay for the mocha latte, and I asked her, did I hear you mentioning, or did I hear somebody in here mentioning paradise? And she said, yes, it's paradise. Every day is a blessing. It's the first time ever I've been I've been talking about paradise. I've been talking with people to understand, to explain, to work to make it happen and all of that. And today it came so naturally and so beautifully and so easy. A young girl with luminous eyes, with glowing face and a beautiful smile that was saying it's paradise every day. It's a blessing. She was telling me, she was convincing me that it is paradise. And obviously that moved me more than I can describe, because I've been waiting for this day for a very long time. When spontaneously people know it's paradise, it is, it's really paradise. And when an important stage in our evolution makes its way, then we'll know it. How do we know it's true? Well, when you'll see the majority of the population understanding that it is paradise and behaving as such, and having the changes that do show that it is paradise, the more people will know is paradise, the more people will understand what that means, the better everyone's life will be. Freedom from anything that stayed in the way of paradise. This is the host of the show, Sandra Davis, letting you know that people